welcome everybody to Golden Insights, a fireside chat with Lark Doley. My name is Richard Lee Tai, and I'm proud to be serving as a conference chair for this upcoming District 42 conference happening in Lethbridge. And I'm also very excited to be joined by Lark Doley. She'll be our keynote speaker that's joining us for that whole lovely weekend. She is the 2018-2019 past Toastmasters International President, and we thought we'd host this pre-conference session to learn more about this wonderful lady, and you can get a taste of what the conference is going to be like. So welcome, Lark.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Yes. And I always love asking folks, like, what got you into Toastmasters? Because I think we all have our own story or invitation that led us onto this journey. So I'd love to hear from you what got you to join Toastmasters.
Well, I love that question because my journey in Toastmasters was a long one. I attended my first Toastmasters meeting at Texas Instruments where I worked, but at my first Toastmasters meeting, the table topics master called on me to answer the very first table topic. I'd never been to a Toastmasters meeting, did not have a clue what a table topic was, so I left the meeting feeling that I had failed. It wasn't until 7 years later when a community Toastmasters Club member invited me to his Toastmasters Club meeting, and I said, absolutely not. I have already failed in that organization. And he said, fail? Nobody fails in Toastmasters. What are you talking about? I explained the experience I had, and he said, if you attend my Toastmasters Club meeting, first of all, we will not call on you to speak. And secondly, if anyone does call on you to speak, I will throw myself on the floor in front of you and not allow you to go to the front of the room. Well, with that incentive, I attended his Toastmasters Club meeting and enjoyed it very much. But what was even better is they followed up with me, asked me how I liked the meeting, was I interested in joining, and invited me to go on a bus trip with their club and all the other clubs in Austin, Texas, to see David Brooks compete in the World Championship of Public Speaking in Dallas, Texas. I paid my $40, got on the bus, met all these wonderful Toastmasters, connected with them, saw David Brooks win the World Championship of Public Speaking. I was so inspired that I joined the next week. Now, why did I need to join Toastmasters? Because I was an entrepreneur. And at that time, all investors were men. I needed to raise money for my fledgling company, but I wanted to be able to speak articulately to this male audience. And I will tell you that Toastmasters did help me talk to those male investors, and we did get some capital for our company.
Great. I love, yeah, table topic seems to be the rite of passage for all new Toastmasters. Yeah.
I will tell you, I do not allow my clubs to call on guests without verifying, first of all, that they are willing to answer a table topic. And I also make sure that members go first so that they can see what a table topic is, so guests can see what a table topic is before they are called upon to answer one.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, you don't want to be put on the spot. But it sounds like, yeah, you had quite a crazy adventure right away in terms of going to that conference, seeing the World Championship of Public Speaking, and then you joined the next week. It sounds like, I mean, there's something that got you to stay all the way into becoming Toastmasters International President. So yeah, I would love to hear about a bit of that journey too. How did you go from, your initial Toastmasters meeting to then becoming president one day? I'm sure you didn't envision that when you first joined as a fledgling member.
I had no idea what the leadership opportunities were in Toastmasters, certainly at that point, and not really for a couple of years. After I served as club president 2 years later, I was asked about serving as an area director, and I had gone to contests, so I knew that area directors certainly were responsible for contests, but I didn't know about the other responsibilities. But I raised my hand and said, yes, I'd be very interested. Loved that role, absolutely loved that role, and learned so much about Toastmasters because I'd never been to multiple Toastmasters clubs, right? I'd been to two, but this allowed me to certainly interact with six more. And I enjoyed it so much and learned that every Toastmasters club does things a little bit differently. Then I served as division director, took a break. Then I served in the district trio roles, then took a break. Then I filled in for a district director who had to leave our district. Then I was invited by some past international directors to consider becoming an international director or running for office. And I did, and I was honored to serve as international director. Years passed. I served as regional advisor and then decided to campaign and run for the office of second vice president. So my leadership journey is a very long leadership journey, just like attending my first Toastmasters meeting and not joining for 7 years later. So I have, I think, a rather unique journey in Toastmasters. And what I tell people is leadership opportunities abound in this organization. And when you are ready to serve in those leadership positions, they will be there for you.
Yeah, it sounds like, yeah, it's been a lot of this sequential journey in terms of getting to where you are, of people encouraging you, asking you to consider, and look at where you are today.
Absolutely.
I know when you were serving in the Toastmasters International President role, your branding was a lot around this gold color as well. So would love to know about what is it about the color gold you love so much? Why is that so much part of your branding?
Yes, that's an interesting story too. I truly believe that the benefits of improved communication and leadership are golden benefits, but it will not cost you the price of gold to achieve them. So I believe that it costs time and energy on your part, but the price of membership is very reasonable. How did I come to the gold theme? When I ran for the position of Lieutenant Governor Marketing, now that role is called Club Growth Director, but when I ran for the role of Lieutenant Governor Marketing, my campaign theme was Share the Gold of Toastmasters. After winning that election, the next year I ran for Lieutenant Governor Education and Training, which is now the Program Quality Director position. That year was an Olympic year, so I used the campaign theme of Go for the Gold. The next year I ran for district director, it was district governor, now director, and I used the campaign theme Go for Gold. With that theme, I wore golden attire everywhere I went, gold shoes, gold clothes. I brought gold Hershey's Nuggets to every event. So I brought food that symbolized gold as well. And I always talk about the fact that I think we are all so incredibly fortunate to be able to receive the benefits of Toastmasters and not pay a fortune to receive them.
Yeah, so it sounded like you're gonna show up in a golden.
Yes, I will. There'll be some touch of gold in everything I wear when I'm with you. Absolutely.
We look forward to it. And I know one of the things we've talked about before is your what's in your background right now, your lighthouse, which you actually live in. So yeah,
I'm on the third floor over here.
I'd love if you could share a bit of that story as well.
Oh, thank you for allowing me to share all these stories. Yes. My husband, Roger, hailed from Nottingham, England, and his family all lived in Nottingham. He was an only child. His father, Arthur, came to our wedding in 1993, and we had our wedding aboard the flagship Texas on Lake Travis. Roger's mother had died 6 months before we were married. During the wedding, Arthur said he loved Austin. He loved the water, Lake Travis, because he had served in the Royal Navy in World War II and he loved everything nautical. He asked if we would be willing for him to live with us. And I was thrilled. This man was certainly a king among men, and his name was Arthur, and he definitely lived up to that kingly name. He came to live with us in 1994, and we decorated his room with nautical memorabilia. Unfortunately, Arthur died 3 years later in 1997, one of the saddest days of my life. After he died, Roger and I were making a trip to Boston, and we decided to travel north to Maine and go see the Portland Head, Maine lighthouse. We had framed a print of that lighthouse and we'd put it above Arthur's bed, but we wanted to see it in person. When we arrived at Portland Head, Maine Lighthouse, we were absolutely in awe of the beauty and majesty of that lighthouse. Coming back to Logan Airport in Boston, we bought a lighthouse book. And then when we arrived home, my husband said to me, "What do you think about building a lighthouse home in honor of Arthur?" Sounds like a great idea to me. It was a crazy idea, though, I will tell you that. And first, we had to find land where we could actually build a 70-foot structure, which took us 2 years to find a piece of land to do that. And then, of course, we had to ask the city council if we could build a 70-foot structure on the property, because it certainly wasn't allowed unless we got them to agree to that. So we did, and we built this lighthouse home. Unfortunately, my husband died in 2014. So now my lighthouse home stands in honor of two men I adored, my father-in-law and my husband.
What a lovely story. I imagine there's some interesting conversations with city council, like, we want to build a lighthouse by a lake. There's not going to be that many like ships.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not on an ocean. We're overlooking a lake. Yes, yes. It was interesting.
Yeah, but yeah, what a special story to in
Thank
honor of
you.
these wonderful men in your life. So, for our conference theme that's upcoming, we're calling it A Bridge to the Future, in part because it's being held in Lethbridge, Alberta, and it's well known for its high-level bridge, but also this symbol of we just celebrated 100 years of Toastmasters International, and what does the future of Toastmasters look like, and can we build this bridge there? So I'd be very curious, since you've been so seasoned with Toastmasters, what you see the future of Toastmasters looking like.
It's so interesting because this bridge theme is being used by you, and last year it was used by my home district, and actually they're using it again this year. I believe that Toastmasters is a bridge. It is a connection. I believe that it's a bridge from fear to confidence. And when I think about other bridges, we start in Toastmasters and we're ineffective communicators. We have filler words, and we bridge ourselves to being effective communicators, articulate communicators. In leadership, we may join Toastmasters and not have any leadership experience. And so we start off as that leader who doesn't have any experience, and then we gain experience. And I hope that we become transformational leaders after we have served in Toastmasters leadership roles. So I see all those bridges. Our experiential learning environment, learning by doing, learning by practicing, and receiving immediate feedback, to me is powerful and timeless. So as you said, we celebrated our 100th anniversary in 2024. And when I look to the future, I believe that communication and leadership skills are essential to success in life. If we can communicate, we can lead, and we can achieve anything we want in life if we have those skills. I used to teach interviewing skills. I was a consultant. And what sets two people apart from one another when they have the same level of skills is how they communicate their skill set and how they connect with their interviewer. And those are all things that Toastmasters teaches. I believe that those skills will take us into 100 years from now, 200 years, hundreds of years into our future. But I will say this, Richard, we're depending on young adults like you to ensure that future, because I won't be around for another 100 years. You may not be around for 100 years, but you'll probably be around for maybe another 70 years, perhaps. Who knows? And so we are dependent on you, passing the baton to you. And what do I want you to do? I want you to do better than we've done. There are over 8 billion people in the world. And I believe that every one of them, except perhaps maybe babies, can gain a benefit from Toastmasters. So I want you to use those incredible marketing skills of yours, those online skills of yours, and I want you to make Toastmasters a global force. I want everyone in the world, first of all, to know what Toastmasters is, and then because they know what it is, I want them to join for the benefits that we offer, the golden benefits we offer. So I'll be passing the baton to you in not too many years. I don't know how many years I have left. I'd like to have a few more, but passing the baton to you, and we're going to depend on you for that brilliant golden future ahead of us.
I accept that baton with a lot of humbleness and responsibility. Yeah, I love how you frame this because communication skills are essential. And I look back in history too. It's like, why did Greek philosophers still study rhetoric? It's this ability to influence and communicate that will be timeless or even more important as we get into this world that's much more technology or AI driven. We still care about that human connection element.
I agree.
Yeah. And thank you for everyone joining us, listening in as well. There will be an opportunity in a little bit for some Q&A after I facilitate this conversation with Lark. So if there's any questions that pop to your mind, there'll be an opportunity as well. So speaking about the younger generation, our other keynote speaker on this program is Sam Dema. Sam is this 25-year-old trailblazer, and I think this prime example of how public speaking skills can really inspire and impact others. He's done over 700 speaking engagements across Canada, US, and Kenya, and he's the youngest ever certified speaking professional as well. For people that are in the Canadian Association of Professional Speakers, this is a very highly regarded designation. So I am curious, I mean, you've already been talking about this, but what role you see youth having to play when it comes to the future of our world or Toastmasters.
Absolutely. Now, you failed to mention that he's speaking before me, so I'm going on after him, right?
Yes.
Yes, I asked you to flip those, but you said no. So we'll see. I want everyone to be kind to the old woman who comes on after this 25-year-old brilliant professional speaker. Yes, absolutely. I believe that our future depends on the youth and the young adults such as yourself. I am so fortunate to live in an area where we have a woman who has fostered youth gavel clubs, and she is teaching hundreds of youth from elementary age through high school effective communication and leadership skills. And I've had the privilege to speak to them. I've had the privilege to judge their contests. And one of their youth won the Youth International Speech Competition last year. She is an amazing individual. She is doing so much for the youth and ultimately for our organization. So I believe if we were to host youth leadership programs and youth gavel clubs in every city where we have Toastmasters and in every high school, then I believe that we would fill the gap between the youth and them achieving the age of 18 and being able to join our organization. I also believe that we need to expand our university presence. and be sure that we have Toastmasters clubs within colleges and universities around the world. But absolutely, I have a young member in my Toastmasters club who is an incredible Toastmaster member and competitor. We're so proud to have him. I'd like to have many more, but we do have a diverse age group in my home Toastmasters club. We also have diverse age groups in my other two Toastmasters clubs, but literally the individual in the Today Toastmasters Club, he couldn't drink. He joined us before he was 21. So I loved that. And he loves Toastmasters and loves our club, and we love having him. But we need to do more with the youth at every level. I had the privilege to travel the world when I was on the executive committee of Toastmasters, and I visited Shanghai and Beijing, District 88 and 85. I was the oldest person in the audience by far. 90% of the audience were in their 20s or 30s. So I was decades older than most of them. And in both of those cities, 800 to 1,000 in attendance at their conferences. So an incredible experience for me. They're all excited about Toastmasters, both the communication aspects and the leadership aspects. In every leadership position at the district level, there was competition. There were multiple people competing for leadership roles. And for the club growth director, there were 5 candidates running for club growth director. So absolutely, the future is in the youth, and we think we have a bright future because of that.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing to hear that. Yeah, in Shanghai and Beijing, where it's you were the outsider, let's say.
Yeah, I felt like I needed to use a cane.
Yeah, but that's very inspirational because yeah, youth are the leaders of not even the leaders of tomorrow, the youth leaders of today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Influencing, impacting the world. So thank you for sharing that. And I'd love to flip it to this other end too, where there's lots of DTMs in Toastmasters and within our district. In fact, there will be secret. There's an exclusive session with Lark for DTMs that are attending our conference. But I'd love to hear, yeah, how do you see like the role of longtime members like DTMs playing, a future role in our district?
Wow, thank you. DTM stands for Distinguished Toastmaster. But when I visited Australia, I learned that it also has another designation dedicated to mentoring. So they say that DTMs are dedicated to mentoring. And I think that is the first role for DTMs, is to mentor our new members. But I also believe there are so many opportunities for all of our members, new and tenured members. And when I look at the District 42 website, I see that there are so many committee chairs, committee opportunities. So those DTMs can serve in district committees. Mentoring and serving in leadership roles for the district, I think those are 2 incredible opportunities for DTMs. And of course, if they are interested in district leadership roles in the trio roles, the club growth director, program quality director, district director, and all of the associated roles, the administration manager, finance manager, sergeant at arms, parliamentarian, logistics manager, then certainly their finance manager. There's all types of leadership opportunities at the district. But outside of the district, there's the region advisor roles, international director roles, and then the executive committee of the board of directors, which is second vice president, first vice president, president-elect, president, and immediate past president. So they can serve in leadership roles, but mentoring is their primary responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love this twist. Dedicated to mentoring. I think I'm gonna start using that. So on that role, I'd be very curious. I'm sure you've had many mentors throughout your Toastmaster
Oh,
journey. I'm curious if there's one that comes to your mind, and I'd love to hear how they've impacted you or influenced you.
absolutely. The red hot mama of District 55. And in fact, I think that's probably where I decided that I needed a color of my own, and I chose gold. But she wore red at every Toastmasters event. She was enthusiastic, inspirational. Absolutely. I owe so much to Jean Riggs, my favorite leader in District 55. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't say that because I have another favorite leader in District 55 now, Pam McCown. But anyway, in District 56. District 56 was my home district, and then we split into District 55 and 56. But District 56, the first district director that I knew personally was Jean Riggs, the Red Hot Mama, and she was definitely red hot.
I love this title too, Red Hot Mama. And yeah, don't worry about favorites. It's not like we're recording this.
Yeah, I love Pam McCown too, if she ever sees this.
Yeah, and yeah, whether it's through mentors or, from your community members, the people you serve with, I'm curious, like when you look back on your whole Toastmasters journey, what's one of those key lessons that's really stuck with you?
In leadership, I think a key to any leadership role is a tenet of our organization, and that is listening. We listen, then we think and speak. And by the way, I'm still learning this. I'm still learning this. But to me, listening is so incredibly powerful. And I believe when I was a manager in different roles in my professional life, that the last leadership role I held at Maximus, I had learned to listen. I'd learned to listen and to leverage the strengths of my team for the best possible outcome. So listening to me is key. And I love the transformational leadership style because to me, we as leaders are here to empower others to reach their full potential. And to me, transformational leadership does that. But the first lesson is to listen. If you don't listen, you cannot lead.
Mm. Okay, I'd like to zoom in on that a bit more because I find it interesting that it wasn't until your Maximus role that you really learned to listen. So, like, what specifically changed, or what technique did you start applying now when it came to your listening?
So it wasn't that I learned that at Maximus. I learned it in Toastmasters. So I
Right.
learned it in Toastmasters, but then I translated it to Maximus.
Mhm.
And that's where I had this incredible team. And we literally made changes because I listened to them, what would make their jobs easier. And these were things that I could implement that didn't cost any more money. They just made us more efficient and more effective. So that's when I truly believe that I put that principle at work in my profession. I believe that I put it to work before that in different leadership roles within Toastmasters. And it is such a powerful, powerful lesson to learn.
Yes, I was not listening very clearly.
No, oh no, you were. I mean, I said professionally. I didn't talk about Toastmasters. So, but I learned it in Toastmasters and then applied it at Maximus
Yes,
to
definitely.
great success, I believe.
Yes. I think listening, if we're gonna connect it to the bridge theme, which I will, it's like a bridge. It's what
Yeah.
allows you to bridge your own perspective or worldview and with someone else's, because we're all operating or seeing the world from our different lenses, and the more we can be empathetic and put ourselves in each other's shoes, then we can collaborate and innovate and make these meaningful differences that benefit everyone.
Absolutely, Richard. So I believe that we listen to understand.
Mhm.
And just think, if we all listened to understand, if we valued different perspectives, if we respected one another, our world would be very different, I think.
I agree. I will open up the floor now if there are any questions from folks. We have, let's say, about 10 minutes of open Q&A, and then I'll do some wrap-up messages too. Yeah, you can feel free to raise your hand and then I'll allow you to unmute as well. Go ahead, Bev.
Thank you so much for being here, Lark. It's such a pleasure to have you. I just have two questions. Do you ever get tired?
The older I get, yes, the more I get tired, but I take afternoon naps if I need to, so I'm fine.
Um, the other thing is we've recently, or I've noticed younger people, and perhaps because of the education system, perhaps the relaxed learning of, writing and storytelling, they seem to use language that perhaps is for the older people a little bit not really offensive but crude. And I was always taught not to do that. How do we get through to the young people because they think it's just normal? And how do we, without offending them, without making them feel bad, how do we get through to them that language matters?
That's very interesting. The young man in my Toastmasters club has a depth of language skills. His word usage is impeccable. So it's very interesting you would bring this up. What I would say is this is a great opportunity for those DTMs who are mentoring the new members to discuss it with them. I think that also if they look at the contest ballot under language, you might even refer them to that to show them that language is something that we even judge in competitions. But I think the one-on-one coaching is the best way to do this. Now, the counter and the grammarian could also discuss some of the language within the meetings as well. What we love to do for the grammarian role is we love to complement good uses of grammar, phrases, word usage. So perhaps depending on what was said, it's an opportunity for the grammarian perhaps just to make general comments about language, but I believe that the mentor for those different members is really the key to individual one-on-one discussion and coaching.
If I may as well, provide some input,
Sure, absolutely.
perhaps representative of the young.
As a young adult, yes.
I think I find this aspect of generational communication to be very fascinating because every generation does have its own cultural milieu, let's say, that influences the way that they see the world and therefore use language to communicate as well. So I think the more it goes, going back to listening, it goes both directions. Like I think there can be sometimes misunderstandings of younger people in terms of how they view older people and vice versa. So the more that we can learn to see from each other's perspectives, then I think it allows us to use language effectively.
And I believe, so Richard, absolutely. So in that discussion with your mentor, you can say that and they can say how they feel. You say how you feel. Absolutely. There's an opportunity for the different perspectives there. Yeah.
Yes,
But thank you so much.
yeah, speaking about mentorship, I didn't one of the closest connections in my life is my mentor, and he's almost triple my age, so he knows who he is. Daisy, go ahead.
Well, hi, Lark. When
Yeah.
I joined Toastmaster for first 3 or 4 years, I feel embarrassed to tell anyone I was a Toastmaster member. So even though I know my employer going to reimburse my membership cost, I didn't reimburse it because I don't want to leave people impressions that I have a difficulty for English speaking because English is my second language. So I really hide my Toastmaster membership for first several months or several years. Recently, we started a new club called Engineering and Geoscience Club. I look around the member in that club. They are all young. I be honest, I tell you that they are all young, much younger than we are. However, I noticed that none of them are native speaker. They are either from Asia or Africa or India, and English are their second language. So how do we change the impression for other people that Toastmaster is just for ESL people? So what we can do for that?
Well, we certainly are expanding widely in countries where English is not their first language. So absolutely, in China and India and other countries, our membership grows and club growth is expanding too. When I think about North America, I think about the fact that we need to promote transferable skills. So you just mentioned engineering, and my husband was an engineer. I probably would have been an engineer if I'd been born 10 years later, but I think we do not promote the aspect of transferable skills, that in Toastmasters, we learn skills that will transfer into the work environment, into different professions, and literally what some of those skills are and how they transfer into those professions. I think we need to emphasize that. We need to market ourselves differently. And I believe if we do that, then maybe we will gain more members because they'll look at it as a professional organization, which, by the way, it is. It is a 501c3 corporation in the United States. It is a nonprofit educational organization. But as we've discussed tonight, communication and leadership skills are essential for success. We need to promote that and how this will allow members to succeed in their professions and in their personal life, and literally list some of the transferable skills that they can learn in Toastmasters. I think that will help.
Yeah, I love that, because I joined when I was, I mean, I'm not English as a second language speaker, but I joined Toastmasters when I was 22. So it's been very transformational to that aspect. Like at the beginning, I thought it's just to help me with my communication skills. I'm gonna use less ahs and ums, which I'm sure I've used a ton of today. But it's helped me to launch my professional speaking business. It's helped me on every stage of my life just to have that community of peers and mentors around me. So it's definitely very transferable, personally and professionally.
Well, Richard, you're making your livelihood off of communication, speaking skills. So absolutely. And I so honor that you are doing that. I
Yeah.
think Toastmasters should have started TED Talks, but we didn't. So we just need to leverage it.
Championships of public speaking, which is quite a prestigious accolade as well for folks. Yeah, one thing about communication as well, and then I'll welcome any final questions from folks. There's this poem I came across before, and the title of the poem is Why Bother? And the line of the poem, there's only one line of text in it. It says, because right now there's someone out there with a wound in the exact shape of your words. And that stuck with me. So that's why communication is important. You never know who's out there in the audience or in a one-on-one conversation that your words are exactly what they've been waiting for their whole life. And that can really leave a lasting impression on them. I'm sure we all know speakers, whether we watch them live or online, that there's a certain lesson or certain phrase even that sticks with us. So that's why I feel like communication, it's more than just personal or professionally, it's impact we can have on others.
Words have power, absolutely have power, for good or for evil. And I want all of us, obviously, to have words that are power for good.
Yes. Okay. It doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I'd love to transition to this point now. It's like, well, Lark, you're coming to our conference, but I'd love to know like why you think other people here, if they're considering, some of people here I know already registered, but for people that are considering coming to a conference, why do you think they should come?
Well, first of all, it will be golden. There will be all types of golden speakers, golden events. It is a bridge to the future. And don't you all want to be a part of the bridge to the future? You've already heard about Friday night. You're going to hear this incredibly powerful speaker. So you need those. Then there will be educational sessions on Saturday, contests, then the leadership installation, DTM ceremony. There is something for everyone. So I hope all of you will attend. Why wouldn't you?
Thank you, Lark. And it's cool too. I want to read out some quotes that we got from other people who are attending our conference in terms of why they're coming. So we have a quote from Glenn Walker. He was the district director for District 99, and he told me that you were the international president during the year he was in office. So one of the reasons he's coming is so he gets a chance to catch up with you and our old friends here in District 42. District 42 and 99 used to be together in Alberta. Someone else mentioned this idea of, well, from Debbie, our program quality director. I've attended the past 2 conferences, and each time it's been an amazing experience meeting fellow Toastmasters in person, many of which we only see online. We get to actually see in person, see how tall people are. Yeah.
I'm short, by the way. I'm short. I'm 5'2", just to let you know.
Yes. I think you bring a big personality and warm energy, though. So, yeah, it's like a great opportunity, whether you're a seasoned Toastmasters, to catch up with old friends, or for new Toastmasters as well. I want to give a shout out to Heather, who's in our meeting. She's coming, what is it, 9 hours?
Oh, that's right. Good to see you again, Heather.
More than 9 hours. Anyway, she's coming from Saskatchewan. Quite a long drive to be with us during the weekend, and she's a fairly new Toastmaster. So, exactly, there's something for everyone here. So I will post the registration link into the chat as well for people that are interested. We have a number of different ticket options, whether it's the full conference or if you're just coming for Saturday only, Friday only, just bringing your partner for the banquet. So yeah, we hope that you can really join us and celebrate together. You'll get to meet Lark in person and yeah, enjoy everything celebrate the best of the best that we have here in the district. Okay. Any final remarks you'd like to make, Lark?
I just sincerely appreciate you inviting me to do this podcast and inviting me to attend and participate in the District 42 conference. I can't wait to be with all of you. So I hope you will all come up and introduce yourselves to me, and let's connect and build that bridge to the future.
Yes, thank you, Lark. And I'll stop. Oh, Daisy, did you have something final to say? Go ahead.
Yes, so Lark will arrive Calgary on Wednesday around the lunch hour, and we're going to take Lark to one of our club event, a potluck for Chinese food. And that's a Wednesday evening, and later we're going to post that event on our district calendar. Please register if you are interested in Chinese food. And Thursday all day, we make a 4 schedule for Lark visit club, either in person or hybrid club. There's some hybrid club, they have a limited room to take guests in person, but everyone welcome to join us online. And you will see Lark around the District 42 on entire Thursday from morning to the evening. And evening event, we have a Grant Hannah. He has been with Toastmaster for 50 years. So I made a plaque for him. I would like to have Lark present that plaque to Grant Hannah in the Thursday evening event. Okay, so everyone here, please join if you have time.
And Richard, would you do one thing before we close? You could turn off the recording, but I want everyone to turn on their videos if they're willing. And I'd love for you to take a picture of everyone and send it to me, or I'll take one.